Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh here on Sunday the 15th of January 2023 with FLOSSTUBE number 160. Welcome back to my weekly YouTube installment about counted cross stitch, this hobby of 1,000 X's or a million X's or a trillion X's. Wonder how many I've actually stitched. Butt ton. Yeah. What kind of week? Well, first full week back at work last week. It was okay. I mean, luckily it's pretty quiet at work. Still a lot of people away. Quite a few vendors aren't back till this week or even the week after anniversary weekend, which is Wellington anniversary weekend, next weekend. And so it was kind of a little bit quite busy, worky sort of stuff. So I took advantage of that, and I won't say it was my most productive, but got a few little things sorted. And I've only got 2 days at work this coming week because I've got 3 days annual leave, Wednesday for my birthday, Thursday, Friday, to make a 6-day long weekend because Monday anniversary weekend. Yay. What's been going on? I don't know. I should say happy birthday Eve to my sister Megan. It's her birthday tomorrow. And also happy birthday to my very good non-stitchy friend Katie, and happy birthday to all the people who are having birthdays this month. There's a lot of new stitches out there with birthdays in January, and I don't want to list everybody that I can think of because I won't remember everybody, and that isn't my intention. So just a general happy birthday. So hope everyone got a birthday start or some stitching on their birthday. The weather's finally improved, as in it's not raining. Yay. I need to get the lawns mowed. It's very exciting. Got to give the lawn update. And I'm going out for dinner to friends for the start of birthday shenanigans because of course it's my birthday on Wednesday. I just had a quick chat with Dad. He's doing okay. He had a bit of a rough week. We had a bit of a scare. I guess his kidney function's not consistent, and there were some concerns earlier in the week that might be serious. It's been downgraded from DEFCON 5. I don't know which way. Was 1 high or 5's high? I don't even know. It's been downgraded in urgency, but keeping an eye on it. His kidney function did improve, which the doctor was a little bit surprised about, but also pleased about. So at this stage, it's just to keep an eye on things. But yeah, it was a bit scary for a while there. And other than Dad getting up today and thinking it was Monday, so getting his bed stripped ready for his home care to do his laundry and make his bed and stuff for him, and then he realised that it's not Monday because that happens on Monday. And anyway, it was a bit of a cock up. So I said, despite all the things in your life that have the date on them and the day of the week, like your phone and your watch and the digital clock on the top of the TV cabinet, and he said, it wasn't until he went and got the newspaper out of the letterbox that it said it was the Sunday Herald, not the Monday Herald, that he realised he had the wrong day. Bless him. That's pretty much it, really. Yeah. Just looking forward to my very short week this week coming. I will have a couple of starts this week, but I'll show them at the end. I don't have anything new in. I did get a couple of pieces of random linen from Stitch NZ, one which I will show you as part of my stitching, and one I can't remember what I got. I just got a couple of bits of 20 count Ada and a couple of bits of and a piece of 40 count linen, I think. I don't remember, but they're not like white linen. You don't really need to see that, do you? I have a few birthday hauls that I'm expecting still. I don't think they'll be in by next Wednesday. I have probably spent way too much money, aka bought too many things when I have a box of kitted stuff, and I don't know. I just felt like shouting myself some nice things. So when they arrive, of course I'll show them, but I don't have anything here yet, and tracking sucks. So just when they turn up, they'll turn up. Okay, so what have I been stitching on? Stitching on a little bit. I don't know, I just have. I've been suffering from a bit of insomnia, so like Friday night, Saturday morning, I like I went to bed and I couldn't get to sleep, and then at about like 1 o'clock I'm like, you're not sleeping, just get up. So I got up, made a cup of tea, probably not that great an idea with the caffeine and it being a stimulant, but you know, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, got to do something. I made a cup of tea and then I did a little bit of stitching, which, you know, if I was too tired I wouldn't have been stitching. So you had a few wee mornings like that where I probably stitched for a couple of hours in the wee hours of the morning because can't sleep. But anyway, hormones, right? First up, my first whip that I picked up, which, you know, needed some love. It's on my goals for the year to finish, is the Moroccan Sampler from Cliffside Stitches. And last time you saw this, when I started it, I just had a bit of the border, and I had just these 3 motifs done. This is on 36 count Persimmon from Fibre on a Whim, and using my own DMC conversion. Similar but tweaked a little bit. This was a 50 at 50 start, number 44, back in November. So because I hadn't really given it much love at all, I gave it a little bit more love. So that's new, that's new. This is all new from here, finished, they've got the border along here. And this motif goes probably, what, 2/3 of the way up, so probably it's about halfway height, and then the right hand border's over here somewhere. So yeah, very happy with that. A little bit of progress. Well, quite a bit of progress really. Oh, that was done last time too, I think no, that's right, I did say that. So yeah, that one's new and those 2 bigger ones. Yay, happy with that. And then again, working on my goals for 2023, picked up Save the Stitches. Sorry, I need to go online and print off a picture of the actual design. I think from memory, I think there is one. But anyway, Save the Stitches, it's a freebie from Liz Armand on her website, Blackwork Journey. And it's in 24 parts. It's quite big. I'm stitching mine on 28 count antique linen by Zweigart with a variation on the called for. I'm using called for materials, but I've changed some of the metallics. So I'm using DMC Pearl number 12 and 310. So you use the pearl for the X's in the borders, and then you use the 310 for any of the black work. And then I'm using DMC Diamant in gold, copper and pewter. It's charted for gold, copper and silver, so I swapped out the silver for pewter. And then I am using Mill Hill beads, which I just grabbed beads that kind of matched my Diamant. I don't think they're the called for beads. I just picked what was off the shelf when I got them. This was started, crikey, 1st of January 2021, and I do have a goal to finish this year. So I got a little bit done. Now, section 4 was smaller than sections 1 through 3. Section 4 was basically that smaller row of diamonds. So I then got the black work in for most of the frame in. There's still a little bit of back stitching, black work to go. For sections 5, 6 and 7, so I've got a head start on 5, 6 and 7, and then got all of the fill in for section 4, which again, that whole row. So yeah, the section, each big section, sort of 4 of these interwoven kind of knots, plus whatever little fiddly bits there might be. So very happy. I'll show you a close up. So I think I made a couple of variations on the chart, either where I thought we were charting errors. Like this one here was charted for one thing of silver in the middle and then gold, and I changed it to be all silver or pewter. It's fun, I really enjoy it. So yeah, I have now got 4.5 parts done out of 24, and I am really keen to get this finished this year, so I intend to pull it out and give it a good whack each month, I guess. Another one of my more recent starts, this will start $49.50, and it's Mairmaid Song by Carriage House Samplings, which I'm doing my own overdyed conversion on 40 count shortbread by Country Stitch. And yeah, I started this right near the end of the year, and I got quite a bit done. So basically, since you last saw it, I had up to that, I had that top sentence done, but I didn't have the brown. So that brown tan line is done. 2 fishes, of course that centre piece, and then one side of the foliage. There's the little fish, and yep, and that is a bit of fluff left from frogging because I stitched all that across and realised it was too low. This is all going to be covered in stitching, so I'm not going to worry about it. Oh, I have to get my, Judith did give me a little rubber anti-fluff thingy, and I don't know where I put it. I think it's in my bag with my, it'll be in my bag with Gigi, so I need to go and find Gigi and get that out and rub that fluff off. But it is going to be covered in satin stitch, so. And because the bottom of this is all satin stitch, all of that ocean, which mine's going to be slightly more greeny, oceany colour, I think I probably will use a hoop because I don't mind doing a little bit of satin stitch in hand, but I'm probably going to get that tension really ballsed up. So yeah, I might put that in the hoop just to get the satin stitch done when I get to that, but it will be nearer the end of the project. So those are all of my whips, and I did have, again, a little bit of my, worked on some of my goals, which was to do a bunch of ornaments using the 2021, I've got 2021 ornaments from Linen and Thread, and these were little freebies on each of the months of their monthly stitch along for that year, their free stitch along. Every month they had a little ornament chart, so I saved them all. So I picked up the 2021 designs to start because they're all 45 by 45, and I'm using, they're not going to be very Christmassy at all, but I'm using 40 count pearl grey linen by Zweigart. This is a big chunk of linen that I bought from Stitching Z just to have something different. And I'm using all variegated silks for you. I have a ton of variegated silks for you, and I figured these ornaments will be a really nice way to use them. The irony being, of course, you only need about 3 lengths of thread to stitch a little ornament, and I have 15 metre, most of the skeins are 15 metres long, so I'm barely making a dent in it, but at least I'm using them. So I did 2 of them, so I'm using a different variegated thread for each one, and they're just going to be made into little ornaments. They're about, well, they're 45 by 45 on 40 count, so they're just about, what, 2¼ inches square. And I'm just being really random with the thread, not trying to make it match or anything, just stitching across and up. January and February, and yeah, there's not much margin, but I'm going to make them into either tiny little yeah, I'm just going to make them into little ornaments, just wrap them quite tight around board probably, and then back them with a nice fabric, I don't know, or I'll make them into little pillows, little thin hangy pillows. So I've got a nice big piece of fabric. This is going to fit all 12 on them easily, and yeah, that's just, yeah, if I get them done, goal met. I stitched both of these last night, so I think they probably took me about 4 hours, probably about 2 hours each, give or take, to get them done. And they're going to be so pretty on my tree when I put my tree up. Keep in mind that my tree is black, like my soul, my Christmas tree. And I'm not really a traditional Christmas kind of person, so I do often put my gin baubles on the tree. They are plastic Christmas tree baubles that are in pretty pastel colours. Well, so there's pink and green and blue and purple and yellow and orange, I think, are the colours. And I fill them with gin. They came with gin, and I refill them with gin each year when I hang them. And I have 3 sets of them, I think, 2 or 3 sets, because 2 or 3 people gave them to me. Where was I going with this? So the pastel colours will really suit the gin baubles. I don't really care. Anyway, it's a nice way to use some of that beautiful variegated silks for you, and I have tons of it, which is why I've put on hold or cancelled for now my monthly Colours of the Month subscription with Silks for You, because most of those months you get 2 of the highly variegated silks in your 4 pack, and that's just they're harder for me to use in the kinds of stitching that I do. Random projects. So yeah, they were essentially from that goal 2 out of 12 done. I mean, my goal is to FFO them, but I'm not going to FFO them one at a time. I'll wait till I've got all 12 so they can all be made consistent. Yeah, yay me. So speaking of goals, am I speaking of goals? No, speaking of stitch-alongs, I don't think we were, but so Anne, one of my stitchy friends who had a birthday this week, has enabled me, and she considers herself a relatively inexperienced and of course quite new stitcher, having started during pandemic, but she's a pretty good stitcher, so I think and she has enabled me to join another stitch along. And it's a free one, I think it's free. Is it free? Yeah, it is free. It's by the Steady Thread, and it's called the Botanical Blackwork. It's got to be really hard to read. Botanical Blackwork Sale 2023. And if you go to the Steady Thread website and go to Sale 2023, there's some instructions on there's a link for an instructions page which you can open and get sent to you, and then that tells you how to get set up on her website automatically that you join the free sale. There's a few steps like subscribing. You got to buy the thing, but it's $0. Set up an account via her email list. Validate your accounts. There's a few steps. It's not onerous, but there are a few steps you need to do. And then once you've done that, it'll give you access to the sale on her account. The other way that you can join is via there's a sale Facebook group. So if you go to if you go to the website, the Steady Thread, have a look on the link to the sale, and then have a look at the instructions, and there are links to the Facebook group as well. I've chosen not to join the Facebook group. I just don't need another Facebook group, and I don't have time to be fully engaged with another Facebook group. I'd rather spend my energy on the ones I already have, and especially like the New Zealand Facebook group and a couple of the others that I'm a little bit more active in. And I just don't need to be inundated with Facebook. We're trying to limit our use of Facebook where we can. I'd rather just go to the website and download the chart every month or however it comes weekly. So what it is, I'll give you a teaser. Do I have a picture? It's just a quick little overview. Essentially, this is the stuff that's available free. So, well, it's all free, but I'm not giving anything away. So there's a whole lot of templates and borders. There's it's a very floral thing, botanical thing, so you've got leaves and flowers and things, and essentially you've got options of stitching hexagons or squares. So she has some different layouts, so each week the design comes charted for both the hexagon and the square. She has different layout suggestions on how you can stitch it. You can stitch it with the drop shadow kind of 3D effect, or flat. I'm doing mine flat. I'm stitching this version, so essentially it's the square version with the floral border. I think that's just really pretty, and I'm going to, so that's 188 square, so it's about, I don't know, 8.5 inches square, I think, on 20 count. I'll be doing 20 count. So you get lots of suggestions for the square ones. She also has options for different borders, so even if you just, you know, there's lots of variation with it, I guess, which is kind of really cool, but again, why it can be a little bit overwhelming. You could do it monochromatic, do your own colours and stuff. She does the little weekly things come with showing where you might, you know, stitch the flower versus the leaf. Oh yeah, here's a better shot of the one that I'm doing. So I've just downloaded the template for the border that I'm doing. I'm going to stitch a 20 count 8 out. I've picked a stitch palette. So first of all, thank you, Anne. Oh, by the way, Anne is Fiction and Floss on YouTube. Her FLOSSTUBE, she does them monthly-ish, and she has it very clearly split into two. So the first half is to do with fiction, her love of reading, and the second half is to do with stitching, and she does have little timestamps, chapters in her description for her video as well. So if you don't want to watch one or the other, you can quickly flick to. She's very good like that. Also, if you go back to her video in December, early December, I think it is. No, her November video, she talks about how she's managing her whips through giving herself a bit of a stitchy allowance, a whip allowance. It's quite interesting. If you're someone who struggles with having too many whips, but likes also to do things, she sort of worked out a way of kind of managing, not becoming overwhelmed with having too many whips, but also allowing herself the freedom to stitch a range of things. And she's set up the stitchy allowance, whip allowance. So I don't want to go into detail because that's her thing, but yeah, do check out Fiction and Floss, and I'm pretty sure it's her November video, because I remember talking with her about it, I think in our December book club, but I think it's November. So excited about this. So here's my 20 count 8, but I don't want to do it on white, so I'm going to dye it a green, and it's going to be my first foray into dyeing with Rip Dye, but I needed a particular colour, which I've ordered, should arrive this week. So I'm hoping to get this dyed this next weekend. We are having, at this stage, a few of us are meeting on Sunday next week to do a little bit of a fabric dyeing session, but I think this one I'll dye at home. I want to try and do like an ombre, so kind of darker green and then going really pale. So I think I'll dye it pale and then even use a paintbrush or whatever and just have it darker, so that where the square, so the middle where the hexagons are will be lighter and the edge where the floral is will be darker. We'll see. It's a piece of Ada that if it goes horribly wrong, throw it in the bleach or throw it away. The palette that I'm inspired by, I'm not doing exactly, it's just Backyard Blossom. So I went through stitch palettes to find something would work. So my hexagons and that are going to be the dark brown 3371, and I've got 4 colours for my florals, and the green will all just be a green. I went through my box of Overflow and I had some of the colours, but then I've picked a couple that are different. So I had a skein of 3371, which is called for. I've got 3777, which was in that stitch palette. And what else did I change? 349 was called for. So those. Then I think the one that I changed, so I did have 956. It's quite bright for me, but we'll have it's going to be little bits of floral black work. And then it called for, this palette called for 601 dark cranberry, which I didn't have, but I had 309 in my Overflow, so that I figured that was close enough. That gives kind of 2 pinks, 2 more sort of rusty reddy colours, and the dark 3 371, and the green this palette called for was 3362, but I had 3051 in my overflow, so I just substituted for that. So that's my palette. So I've got 4 colours for the florals, the green for all the foliage, and the dark brown for the hexagons. And it's pretty, it's dropped on the floor. It speaks to the palette. It's, you know, in line with it. So I'll start that once I've got my fabric dyed. And then I'll be just stitching that weekly, I guess, roughly weekly, because there are weekly installments with that. So that is new, and that should be fun. So thanks, Anne, for enabling. That's pretty much stitching plans coming up, and yeah, 2 starts coming up for birthday on Wednesday, which, just a reminder in case you've forgotten, is going to be Mary Jane, my paper's a bit ratty, Mary Jane Fry, 1861, which is Amanda Rowe from the Solitary Stitcher. That's sort of another shot of it there. It calls for 6 skeins of DMC, but I am, of course, mixing mine up a little bit. I'm stitching it on a 36 count Victorian Motto sampler shop with no name, which it just came like that, no name on it. And I've got a mixture of Classic Colourworks, Tom and Lily creations, in fact they're all Tom and Lily creations except for the Blackbird. So I've got Blackbird by Classic Colourworks, and then I've got Sirocco Desert, freebie, no name, gift with purchase, Curcuma, and Rouge A. Gonna be beautiful. I'm so excited. So Anne, again, Fiction and Floss, is the main organiser of our, I'm gonna say 4 times a year, it's not quite quarterly, Wellington Stitchy Catch Up, which this stage is hosted or is organised on the Saturday where there's a 5th Saturday in a month, which would have been New Year's Eve, but of course that was not a really good day to have a Stitchy gathering, so it was pushed out this to the 21st of January, which is again anniversary weekend. So that's coming up on Saturday, and also Anne likes to keep people motivated and had suggested that we do a bit of a start along, stitch along on a Carolyn Manning design, any Carolyn Manning design. So finally, I'm starting 10,000 Lakes, which was a gift from Chris. She got this signed for me by Carolyn at a gathering, a retreat, something that she went to. So this was, I remember now, also motivated. I looked inside, I remember now. So Welcome Stitchery, this was designed or launched as a, to celebrate the opening of Welcome Stitchery in Minnesota. And there's the 10,000 Lakes is all to do with, there are a butt ton of lakes in that area. And so anyway, that was really lovely of Chris to send this to me. So I meant to start this a couple of times, and then I kept deferring it. But as soon as Anne had said, let's do a Carolyn Manning project in January, even though I've already got one on the go, I decided I'll do this one, start this one. 18 count sage green, or sometimes it's called celadon green, Ada. And I'm pretty sure I haven't even cut this or whizzed it. I need to cut it and overlock it. But it's a piece of green Ada, I don't know why I had to open it. It's not like there's anything to look at. But I do like stitching, you know, the full coverage on Ada, because why bother with anything else? And also I like using a colour, not necessarily because I want to see the colour, but so you don't see the white showing through as much. I do one strand on 18 count. This does have a little bit of white though, it should be fine. I think it's like, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't think it's white. I think it's this one. It's 3756. So quite excited to get that started finally. Now I do have a physical chart, so but it's nice blocks of colour, so I don't think it's going to be as challenging, say, as the other, like the shooting stars and stuff, where you're bouncing all over the place. Like, you know, this is, I'll show you a little bit of the chart. You can pick a colour and just do all of the block and stuff. So I think it'll be fine. I could scan it and try it in Pen and Keeper, but I don't know. I got to photocopy it and make a working copy of that. So I'm really excited to finally get that started. So next Sunday at my video, you will see my progress. Thanks for coming along, and in advance the likes and subscribes and all that sort of stuff. Contact details in the doobly-doo, and yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you. And as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.